Welcome to SME Business TV, and it'd be a pleasure to interview you today as the author of A Little Book of LinkedIn. It'd be great to get some tips from you on LinkedIn and how we can be using this whilst we can't actually meet each other face to face during this crisis. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a little book, and it's only about 50 pages long. It's the sort of thing that I put together really for my clients and the people at my workshops, etc., to have as a bit of a takeaway. It's also on Amazon, and I do take some around and sell them. But the whole point of it is it's a little workbook. You should carry it around in your briefcase, and there are blank pages in there for notes, etc. So it's all around making sure people are effectively using LinkedIn, which is what my business is all about.
Perhaps we can put a link at the bottom of this video as to where people can purchase that book from.
Yep, no problems at all.
So tell me, what would your top tip be? If we went through just a handful of things people could be doing now, what would number one be?
Well, actually, it's ideal time because, a lot of people that are doing as they're told are at home. Unfortunately, not everyone is as busy as they'd like to be, so they have time. Now, I look at this as a massive opportunity for people, including myself, to plan for the future. So all those people that said that they have had no time, that they're time poor, now is a great time to get your LinkedIn profile sorted out. Top tip, your headline. So the bit of text that appears underneath your name is probably the most crucial thing to get right. And I say that because it follows you all around LinkedIn. So when you go and look at someone's profile, when you go and enter a discussion, it's always there after you. Now, the big thing here is that for many, many people, for many, many years, including myself, it was an online CV. So it was my job title. Unfortunately, for most people, it changed and no one told them. And it's now really about what you can do for me. So when someone's looking at my profile or someone's seeing the fact I've gone on and commented, they will have this line, and I ask questions. So mine is something along the lines of, would you like your LinkedIn profile to create revenue and leads? Question mark. The whole point there is getting engagement. And I follow it up with, as the LinkedIn profiler and author of the Little Book of LinkedIn, I can help you. So I put the question out there. The people that I want to deal with are going to say yes, and then I've immediately gone back and said to them, I can help them. So wherever I go on LinkedIn, that follows me around, so people know exactly what it is, what I can offer. So that is probably the most important part, but it's part of the top of the section. And now that is, sorry?
Well, I was just about to say it's the same as going networking. It's getting away from saying what you do and saying what you do for other people, the person you're talking to.
Yeah, it's all about what's in it for me from the viewer's point of view. So that kind of, it affects the whole of the top of the profile. So you have 4 key elements, and this is what this is the information I give away on a regular basis to people because I think it's crucial. There's a banner that goes across the top of your LinkedIn profile. There's a headshot. There is the headline we just spoken about, and then there's the about section, all of which anyone who lands on your profile will see. And that is irrelevant whether it was that you met them at a networking event, or they found you in a search, or they were recommended to you, whether they're on a phone, Mac, tablet, it's irrelevant. Those 4 items are there. Now, we are very visual as people. We take information visually as a priority. So you have this big banner across the top, which is probably 25 to 30% of the whole area. And a lot of people have the standard LinkedIn banner, which is the blue one with the little white things going across it. Massive opportunity to tell people what you can do for them. Massive miss if you haven't done anything about it. So my thing is to tell people, get that changed as soon as possible. Get an image up there that portrays what you do. Most people won't have the ability to have one image that will tell everything. Now, I'm in a speaking fraternity. Put a picture of yourself up on stage speaking, you kind of nailed it. If you're a photographer, put a camera up there, you nailed it. But for a lot of different industries, there's no such easy route. So they've got to add words to it. And again, the words will tell people what they're offering. A lot of people don't have the facility to do that. So during this particular period we're in, I've just brought in a very simple product, which I'm producing those backgrounds for people because I can do them very quickly. I've got all the software. They just send me their logo and the words, and I did one yesterday. It's just helping people, and I know that people haven't got a lot of money to spend at the moment, but again, it's quite a crucial area, and it's a good little investment. Now you go down to your headshot. It needs to be professional. And I know people say, I'm a creative person. Yeah, right, I don't care. Because what you get is 14 times more engagement by having a professional looking headshot. That is
not one of my skiing holiday then.
No, probably not. No, pretty. I mean, I'd say it's kind of boring. So it's a head and shoulders shot. Please smile. You know, who wants to deal with someone who's got a horrible sort of, yeah. I've seen so many photographs of people, and I know people don't like having photographs taken. So if you know that's the case, get a professional to take it for you. They will loosen you up, etc. Then we come to the headline, which we've spoken about. But then there's the about section, which used to be the profile summary. The first 3 lines of that can still be seen by the person looking in from the outside. So again, it's in their domain. And the times I see it start off with I am, I this, I, we, me. No, it's still about them.
Yes.
So if you really don't understand it, you know, a simple little one to start off with until you think something better is, I'm sure you would agree that it makes perfectly good business sense to deal with a professional filling the gap. Question mark. And again, only need it to say no. So again, you're getting that psychology in of people saying yes and yes and yes. They will continue to say yes. So that top section is probably one of the most important things to get right because you can have loads of great information below that, but unless they click on the see more, they're never going to see it.
I know you know Barnaby Winter, so it's really getting across your value proposition clearly in the first few lines so everybody can see it.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know Barnaby well. He's a speaker and a friend of mine, and he's quite right. And it is unfortunate that you've got 7 seconds, and marketing people will probably say to me that's actually reduced, but I'm trying not to scare people too much. Yeah, 7 seconds for people to take that information in. So you've got to make it very easy. They can't start thinking, well, what do they do? What's their proposition? You know, what can they do for me? Because I can guarantee you're up against a numerous amount of other people that are in the same space as you. And that's another thing that as a great tip for people. And a lot of people really, really do actually struggle with this, is to find your keywords. Now, you know, it's SEO, SEO for LinkedIn. This is kind of what I do. You need to discover what keywords really work for you. Now, the best way of doing this is to think of one, put it into the LinkedIn search criteria, click on the people tab, and it will tell you how many people have actually got that in their headline. Now, so if you've got one that comes out with results of 4 or 5 million, guess what? I'm not going to be using that. It's far too generic. You can go the other way and you can drill down too far and be too niched, and there's only 10 people in the world with that. It sounds good, but no one's searching for it. So again, mine is LinkedIn Profiler, and no great surprise there. And there's 2,055 of those in the world. And I'm currently, actually I haven't checked, but yes, normally I'm ranked number 1, or certainly in the top 5 in the world for that, because I know how to use the algorithm, etc. But it does mean that people put a search in, I'm going to come up as the answer.
Tony, does that mean you can search for the keywords that people are using in their profile? Can you also search for the keywords people are searching for?
No, there is a little program that I use that does that sort of thing, but not within the standard one. Another good little tip is I tend to work around the search number. Now, if you go onto your LinkedIn profile, you have a little dashboard which is sat underneath your about section that only you can see. Even I can't get in there and see it unless you let me log in. Now, that has 3 different figures. One is who's viewed my profile, which will be in the hundreds. The post one, which depends on when you put the post up, to be honest with you. So if you put a post up in the last half hour and there's 50 people, well, you're doing really well. If it was 3 months ago, you're doing really poorly. But the search number I find is far more accurate, because when you look at that search number, you click on it, it brings up the information that you can use to tailor your marketing. So it will give you the companies, a selection of the companies that used that search criteria. So you can see what sort of companies are putting the search in that you're becoming the answer to. The next section is it will also show you their job titles. So again, you can see what type of people are looking for me, owners, sales directors and things like that. Ideal. HR consultants, nah, not really. I don't get them, so I filter them out. And then if LinkedIn are in a good mood, they'll also potentially put in the search criteria that they actually use to find you. So the information's in there. And I tend to say to people, that's a really useful set of information. But also the search number is really a great metric. So in normal times, the majority of my clients, I ask them to do that. Majority of them are south of 50, some of them are even in single figures. And I say to them, well, that's in a 7-day period, which is just passed. So if you're on 50, discount the weekend, you're being found in a search 10 times a day. I like to see that at least 50, 60 times a day. It then goes to the numbers game. The more people find me in searches, guess what? The more interaction I get.
So that really helps. There's some great tips there on your profile. What activities could people be doing during this quieter period, perhaps for some in going out?
Yeah, I mean, activity drives it. So there's no point in having a wonderfully looking profile if you don't then do the activity, which drives the search engine. So I suggest that people look at 4 key areas. The first one is to do posts. Now, from your home page, you can find where you do the posts and do the activities. Now, posts, I would always say have a daily interaction. No, it doesn't mean you should be doing one every day. Obviously, at the moment in time, people have got a bit more time. Now, it's gone the other direction. There's far too much going out there. People have got too much time. They're putting anything out there. And if I see another person who thinks they're a home working or a COVID-19 specialist, I shall wring their necks. There's just far too much of it. And my client said to me, what should I be putting out? I said, well, actually, at the moment in time, don't change. What I told you originally, which is good value, knowledge-based information. It's not salesy. It's just saying, you're a specialist in the area and you are showing people that you are. So when those posts go out, again, I tend to use a question in my post to get engagement. I always use an image. But again, I'm probably only doing 1 or 2 a week. I schedule a couple of others. But I'm going in and interacting every day. When I say interacting, when you see someone come through your feed, you've got the ability to like, comment, and share. That's interaction. When you do that, it also gets indexed by LinkedIn, which means you'll get found in searches higher as well. Also, in the top right-hand corner of anything coming through your feed, there's 3 little dots. Push on that. The first option is to save. That's something that was brought in not long ago. Ideal because 80% of people view LinkedIn on their phones, probably out and about. Therefore, they can't sit and read the article, the post, but they now have the ability to save it, and it appears on the left-hand side menu. Because I can assure you, if you go back home 4 or 5 hours later and try and find it, you won't. It's got lost in your feed.
That's useful because I've done that myself and lost some stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. And it's the same with articles. And articles are just below posts. Think of it as a blog. So if you're a blogger, please reuse it, repurpose it onto LinkedIn. But if you do, change at least one image and 1 line of text. Otherwise, LinkedIn will spot that and go, oh, you cut and paste. We're not going to index you for that.
So they don't like that. Okay.
Don't like it. No, don't like it. So, but yes, articles, again, it's nicely templated in there. I tend to put out articles around about 300 to 500 words, and I will intersperse it with images because I want people to want to consume it. If it's just 500 words of text, it doesn't look as though it's nice to read, etc. I'm trying to break it up and make it easy consumable. I do that once a month, and realistically, it is all about. I mean, they're going to be controversial and ask a question and stir up things, or I'm going to put out stuff that is useful for people to understand. Other areas of activity, this one is probably one that most viewers are not doing, and that is groups. Now, the reason that most people aren't using groups is because in 2016, Microsoft killed them. When they purchased the product for 26.2 billion, they didn't understand, this is my impression of it, So I tend to joke that they put everything I didn't understand in the interest box at the bottom. Groups were really powerful in the old days. I certainly was involved in one that raised 30 grand's worth of business out of it. They are bringing it back, and actually I had an email direct from LinkedIn the other day saying that they are now definitely pushing out messages. So if you've got a group, and if you put a message into the group, LinkedIn are now pushing it out to the members, so the members will see the activity. Great place to go and start doing some business. You can do some business in there, but it's a great way of actually starting to get people aware of you and the fact you're an expert in your area. So I'd say to people,
last week, one of the interviews we did, we put it out through a group that person was a member of, and it suddenly the views on the TV came up. So yes, there's certainly an interaction going there now.
Most definitely. And as I say, I say to people, have a look at 3 or 4 groups where you think your avatar is going to live, and go in there, start joining discussions, and also make discussions after a while. Another really useful part about it, everything I teach people is in the standard free version. And we know that if we need to talk to, or would like to talk to a third line connection, that LinkedIn want us to purchase premium. No. All I would do is, if I've identified someone, I'd find the groups that they're active in, go in and start adding to the discussions. Oh, look, I'm talking to the person. And then after a while, when they've got used to me, I say, wouldn't it be a good idea to connect? And no one's ever said no. So again, that's another way of saving £47.
Mm. In fact, I had premium, then they told me I couldn't have my cheaper one any longer and put that price up, and sold me Sales Navigator. So I was spending about £100 a month, which I've cancelled since speaking to you. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the Sales Navigator is a fantastic product, but you need to know how to use it, and you need to be able to use it. It's got so many different filters in there that you can actually filter out your ideal person. I show people in the standard search. Again, if you go back to the HR person, 5 or 6 million people was the first line answer. Pretty well, I would say within 2 minutes, I've got that down to about 80 for most people. That's their prospecting list. So yeah, and I'm not paid premium to do it. I just know how to use the system, and I show people how to do it.
We're all finding less expensive ways of doing things during this crisis, I think, actually.
Yeah, and I think video. Video is powerful, whichever medium you're using it in, marketing-wise. I use a product called Vidyard, Vidyard. It's a Chrome extension. I literally downloaded it to my Chrome, and it's a great little tool. Now, I only use it for like the 1 and 2 minute videos, so I'll put out a little informational video. But the good thing about it is it's got 3 modes. You can either be me talking to screen like I am now, or sharing my screen, or the one I use is the tab where I'm in the top corner talking to you, but I'm moving my cursor around the screen and showing you how to do something. So it's great for educational and teaching. And I put those out onto LinkedIn, because the great thing about video is when you recorded it, it gives you a whole load of sharing options, which is just click a button, take straight into LinkedIn, share it as a post. Yes, please, add something to it, and off it goes. It's a fantastic product. But as you say, there are really good economical ways of getting stuff out there at the moment in time. Yes, you can record this, and you can put these out as well. But with the video one, it's just so simple for quick stuff. So yeah, it's a great way of using it, and it's just getting clever. Now, another tip for viewers on posts and articles is it's all about engagement. So if you put a great post together and no one's engaging with it, it's kind of a bit lost. Now, a chap I look up to, a guy called Daniel Priestley, who's a best-selling author and entrepreneur.
I know Daniel.
You know Daniel, yeah. I've just asked him to come and speak for me this year, and he's agreed to. We're going to put together a nice big speaking event. But his book, KPI, Key People of Influence. I say to people, when you've done a post, go straight into the comments and then tag people, tag good people. And what I mean by tag is when you start, if you put @ and start typing someone's name in there, it will autofill the name in. And then when you push the post button on that one, if you've tagged me into it, then I will get a notification saying that so-and-so has tagged me in a post. I'm going to go and look at it. And if I like it, I will share it. So it's a great way of pushing the boundaries out. There was a group of us who were playing around in January when it was really quiet at the start of it, and we got something up to about 1 million in the end by doing this sort of tactics. But it works, and the same with articles. Just go straight back in and tag people in, but make sure you've asked permission. Not just tagging in people. We never tag Daniel in without asking him. It's be a bit of courtesy. And the other thing,
giving him a nice little plaudit here, so perhaps you can tag him in this one. I don't think he'll mind.
And the other thing I think is that when you're doing articles, you can do the tagging as well. But at the top of an article, if you've got a really good piece, but it's thousands of words long, the courtesy nowadays is to put in, this is a 20-minute read. Because there's nothing worse than someone starting and then realising they're not going to get to the bottom and then just stop it. So again, the unwritten rule is if you're writing a long one, let people know at the start of it. Then they will save it and look at it later when they've got time.
Talking of Daniel, actually, I suppose LinkedIn is another good way of getting that interest going to follow the process in his other book, Oversubscribed.
Yeah, and I'm currently reading Oversubscribed, the version 2, having had the first 4 books sent to me on Christmas by him. I've now ordered the Oversubscribed and I'm reading it. And yeah, I mean, and I said, the reason I said to Daniel about getting involved in this was because it came out of his book. I said, your idea was to put together a VIP speaking engagement and all the marketing around that. I said, so, hey, come along to mine. And yeah, it was kind of the cheek of it ensnared it. I also know Richard Woods, who's a close friend of his as well, so I can use the leverage there as well. But I think, yeah, using LinkedIn, what I'll do is when we put the date together, it will be at Ascot Racecourse. We will use LinkedIn most definitely because LinkedIn's got an events page on it now. Again,
I didn't know that.
That is LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. Don't be wrong, but their marketing department needs bloody shooting. So about, I can't remember how long ago it was now, but I knew about it about 3 months in advance through the super users. And what they've done is down the left-hand side, you'll find that there's an events tab in there. And quite simply, you can construct an event within LinkedIn. It allows you to link it up to a booking site. It puts all the details of where and when it is. It can be online. But when you've done it, it gives you the ability to share it. So you can share it to your connections. You can share it in a post. It creates its own unique URL, so you can share it within your marketing. And yeah, it's a fantastic tool. It's been needed for years. And it arrived on a whimper because no one was told about it. So I was telling people months before it was available that it's coming, and that it will be a great tool. And of course, it's come just before the current situation, but I certainly was promoting things through it before this came around. So yeah, it's really useful. So yeah, the left-hand menu is well worth discovering because that's where they put the saved item. That's where the events has gone in there. So it's like most things. When you're quieter, the other thing, discover all the little buttons on LinkedIn. Go onto your Me, scroll down accounts and privacy settings. Go in and have a look at them. There's 4 tabs there, and I'm sure there's something in there that you'll go, one area I always check with people is you need to go on there and have a look and see what emails accounts are actually tied up to your LinkedIn, because guess you've been on it for 10 years probably, and you no longer work at that company. You might find that your default email address actually could be one you haven't got access to anymore. Go and delete it. And the one thing I would really please, there's a bit in there that says phone number. Please add your phone number to your LinkedIn profile. Do you not want to be spoken to? But 99% of people don't have it.
Now, do you need, because this was one of the reasons I was a little careful about letting go of Navigator, and I haven't checked since. Can you see people's contact details without Sales Navigator?
Yeah.
You can. I thought that was one of the things I was paying for.
No, contact, literally, you'll see in blue writing contact, opens it up, it gives their own website, their email address, anything they put in there.
Is that only for first connections?
Yeah. So you can probably Navigator, you will be able to do it in second and third line. Well, actually, no, I'm talking rubbish. No, it's on everybody. you can go in there and it's there. The main thing is that people don't put their phone number in there because, again, they've never been shown how to.
I'm not sure mine's in there. I should check it after this interview.
Yeah, it's, go on to that settings, and it's the first tab. It says accounts, and you go in there and you can add it, etc. But again, there's 4 tabs. Go and have a look, play around in there. It would just make your use of LinkedIn slightly nicer while we've got the time. But while we have the time, let's write some posts, let's write some articles, put them in a vault, and save them, and then use them later on. And then all we've got to do is upload them. Why not do that? I tend to do it. So if I got some time, I just put an article out. I think I don't want to put one out straight away on the back of it, but actually I'm really sort of passionate about this particular thing. All I do is I create a folder on my desktop. I write it in a Word document. I then put in there the pictures that I'm allowed to use. So here's another little hint. Okay, some people will have loads of pictures that they can use, and therefore there's no issue. Many others won't. And again, on the ethos that I don't want people paying money out to Shutterstock and people like that. Unsplash, UNSPLASH, and Pixabay, PIXABAY, are picture banks which are royalty free. You can use them. You won't get into trouble with absolutely anybody. And there's literally millions of images in there that you can use. And I import them on a regular basis because I know that I'm not going to get into trouble. I have my own images as well, but it just gives me access to so much more. And the other thing, of course, if you go in and do a Google search and then go into images and then use the tools setting, you can find the ones that are tagged for reuse as well. So there's again, free resources. That's what it's all about.
Or better still, use a local photographer and get some great pictures of your own business, which
and totally. I've got a lot of professional photographers in my network, and I always say to people, don't go and get a headshot done. Go and get a series of shots done, because you can use it in your marketing. Just 12 different versions of your head, pretty boring. So I've got some of me sitting down, standing up, pointing at different things, etc. Things that I can incorporate into my marketing. And yeah, you won't get better value. Well, for those instances, so I've got to also, I think, why don't people get back to me? And so I will find images around that which wouldn't have shot in my branding exercise that I did with my photographer. So there's always a need. There's always a little need for others. But yes, by all means, the photographers at the moment in time are probably prepared to do a good job, do a deal, as a lot of people are. Good time to brush up on that, get your profile, get your images all ready. And I'm being very, 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 very optimistic, positive. I'm gearing for me to be totally ready to really go in June. Not that I've stopped, but in June I see that I'll be allowed to go and see people face to face. But in the meantime, we are Zooming a lot, but I have not stopped. I've got 4 different Zoom calls today. I've just invoiced someone this morning for some work. It's out there. You just got to be a little bit harder to go and find it. But it's if people are giving off positive vibes, they're the people to go and talk to. The ones that are all involved in the doom, gloom, and all that side of things, I would stay clear of them for now.
I agree. I think we've just got to find a new way of working. Keep to your existing value proposition, but find a new way of talking to people and getting things across. With photography, I love the photographers. Manjit comes to mind, who they tell the story of your business in photographs. I think that can be so powerful on something like LinkedIn. Do you use Canva to do infographics, or do you use another tool?
Canva is my chosen tool. It is something that I really pushed back against for quite a while. I worked with a marketing and web design lady right at the start of my business, and she kept saying, you should be using Canva. And I go, oh. I eventually capitulated, and now I actually do use Canva. Virtual, that's why I build my banners for other people using Canva. It's such a simple product. It has a built-in LinkedIn template in there. And yeah, even for things I'm putting out, because I use a scheduling tool as well. So some of my marketing goes out through a scheduling tool. And in there, I will create the image for that. Again, I will choose in a LinkedIn post size picture, and I will put words as well as images in there to create a unique thing. And then, yeah, I'm literally, one of my tasks for today is to go into there and make sure I've got at least 2 scheduled posts going out to Facebook and LinkedIn this week. And I think I do that as a sort of religious part of my activities.
2 posts a week.
I mean, there's a certain amount of social scheduled posts I put out, but the ones I think, so they're informational, but I will also interact and put out fresh ones as well as. So the scheduled one, I will look in there and I'll go, right, okay, I'll schedule something for this week, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. But the of the moment ones will be random. I'll do at least 1 a week, but there could be more. Really depends on what's going on. And of course, yeah, I'm probably sat on LinkedIn a lot more than most people anyway. So I will probably generate possibly more. The thing at the moment is, don't get carried away. Don't start putting out tens of thousands of bloody posts. There's so much rubbish out there. Just put out good informational stuff. Again, a bit like COVID, it's a peak and it's going to come down. And I've started to see the amount of rubbish posts is starting to decrease. But yes, make it as part of your working life to keep putting stuff out there. You've got to be noticed at the end of the day. But you don't want to be noticed for the wrong thing.
I love it. Squash the curve on rubbish posts. That sounds good. And you're going to put together a webinar for pure B2B members?
Yeah. I've got 2 or 3 webinars I've done in the past, so I will put a bespoke one together around what is going to be useful. And again, because I don't see these times any different to normal for me, it will literally be, it's the mindset thing. So this is what we need to be doing. This is how you need to do it. So some of the things I've spoken about today will be in there. There'll be other things in there as well. So I'll put that together. Certainly, it's on my list of things to do, which I seem to be able to get through at the moment.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Tony. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I just really just be positive. People will buy into positive people. We've all got a story to tell. We've all been affected by this. Not being funny, people don't really want to hear that. They've got their own issues. So, but I've attracted business because of my positivity at the moment in time. People are going, well, great, you're being positive. And I know that budgets are being reduced, but they're not completely disappeared. So yes, like myself, the banner service, £25. I brought it in, especially for this curve. It's just something that people can engage with me on, and it will be useful for them. So yeah, just look for, as you say, different ways of doing what you normally do. Maybe bring in a slightly different model on some of your products. For Christ's sake, don't go around giving everyone away for free. And I see so much of that at the moment in time. Totally devalues your business. You're going to go out of business if you keep doing it. I know why people are doing it, but it does sniff of desperation. Do some things for free. So I do a free clinic some weekdays. All I'm giving away is pretty much high level stuff. I'm not digging deep down enough to get people interested to go, oh, actually, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. But no, it's don't give too much away free. You are really on the road to being out of business.
Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you perhaps on tomorrow's Pure B2B Mastermind.
Yep, no, it's in my diary. So yeah, you will see me giving positive advice to people.
Good man. Please send across any links, and we get those put down at the bottom of today's episode of SME Business TV. Thank you very much for the interview. There's some really, really interesting stuff in there. Thank you.
Okay, then thank you. Speak to you soon, Nigel.
I'll stop.